Looking good, Italian job.
Feeling good, Tommy boy. Top of the morning to you, sir.
Top of the morning to you. Happy St. Pat's, man.
Hey, I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, we are recording slightly earlier than normal and it's a Friday. Is there any Guinness in your future?
Maybe. You'd have to tune into YouTube to find out.
Oh, Tommy boy, the pipes are calling. Good to see you,
yes, indeed. Yeah. Good day. It's March Madness time. Aptly timed for our conversation today. I'm fired up about it. Do want to give a shout out to Grow Ruck coming up. We are 1 week out from the Capitol, and I'm excited to see all that footage come through. I can't wait to hear the stories. Fired up for those guys. If it's your first Grow Ruck, I hope you're a little bit nervous. Pro tip: cut your damn toenails before you get in the car and drive out to Grow Ruck. Number one tip I can give you: clip those digits, man.
Strong call. Speaking of the tournament, my alma mater made it to the tournament. We don't make it very often. My school has about 3,800 students. University of North Carolina at Asheville Bulldogs lost by 33 points to UCLA last night. So we got that going for us, which is nice. So go Bulldogs.
There's an homage to Larry Bird, I'm sure. That was planned. That was planned.
Absolutely annihilated. But, whatever.
It's a good day to be Furman. It's a good day to be Princeton. I think everybody's brackets were busted. I think I saw a stat that 4% of the brackets through ESPN were still perfecto, but they all changed on that Arizona game, that Arizona loss. So good times. Well, speaking of winning and losing, I want to get into it because I saw this come through the Slack channels and have been excited to talk to these guys about their idea. So let's just let her rip. Sunshine, we'll start with you in my Brady Bunch windows. Name-a-rama, and how'd you get your name?
My F3 name is Sunshine. I went to a workout about 5 days after I moved from California to North Carolina in 2014. There were 120 something guys, so I don't think they spent too much time coming up with the name. And I also know enough about nicknames that you don't fight them because they only get worse. So I kept my mouth shut and just said Sunshine's not the worst name. I also thought that they were confusing Florida as the Sunshine State with California, the Golden State. But I also knew, all right, well, I don't like to correct people when I am in the minority. Also a really foolish thing to do. So just walk away from this one and be glad it's not worse.
Wise move there, Sunshine. I mean, you could have been much worse. Could have been much worse.
Loud
Sunshine works. Yeah.
Teacher's pet.
And Sunshine, you were back, just to clarify, you're back on the West Coast.
We moved back to California in 2019. We had lived here for almost 20 years prior to living in North Carolina. I'd gone to grad school here. Go Bears. We are not in the tournament this year, and it's been a hot minute since Jason Kidd was relevant. We talked about college basketball. But, Jaylen Brown. So, yes, we live in San Francisco, where we've lived since the late 90s.
Outstanding. And then all the way over on the East Coast, representing Cape Fear, we've got Snooki. Snooki, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on. John Reynolds, 51, Snooki. I've been posting for just over 2 years. It was March 8th, 2021. I was EH'd by Special K, who's a huge presence out here in the Cape Fear. He had said, hey, come on out. It's fun. I need numbers. I didn't really know what that meant. And it turned out it was kind of like a Jets versus Sharks kind of bridge battle within here with our team over the river in Leland. So there were about 30 guys coming together for bragging rights by playing a March Madness pickup basketball game at 5:30 in the morning. I was exhausted. I said, this is awesome. And so kind of like Sunshine said, we had, 30 guys, big name-a-rama. There were 2 F&Gs that day. They got to me. They're like, I barely got out. I'm from New Jersey. Somebody said Turnpike. They're like, no, we got one. There's Snooki. Fine, Snooki. Don't grin and bear it. I know how that works. But I've embraced the name. Embrace the name. So happy with it.
What part of Jersey are you from?
Born and raised in North Caldwell, home of the Sopranos house.
Yes,
and
indeed.
and meandered my way down to Central Jersey. Didn't cross into South Jersey. It's a little dangerous down there. You know, those Philly guys.
Yeah.
So.
That's where my wife's from. That's why I keep my mouth
Likewise.
real quiet when she's home.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Wise move, TB.
Well, fellas, because of the beauty of the internet, we're sitting here having a conversation together, which is why I'm excited, because also due to the same beautiful internet, you guys met and concocted a really great idea. So we're going to kind of let you guys run with it and share with the PAX what you've dreamt up for them to get into.
Well, I will start, but it's a quick handoff. So many of you know, I work with Bada Bing to manage the maps for F3 Nation. And so I do get a lot of emails from PAX about questions. And I got an unsolicited email the other day that said March Madness dumb idea. And I was like immediately intrigued. And it was from Sunshine. So with that awareness of the project from my end, Sunshine, why don't you take over and let us know how that came about?
Sure. So a few months previous, we were trying to decide locally how to coordinate and start a Saturday beatdown. We didn't have one prior to that. I looked at the nation's map, which is beautiful, and you can sort it by many different ways and shapes, but it's hard to analyze. And I wanted to figure out, what do most people do when they do a Saturday workout, and the duration, the start time. I didn't want to spend all my time clicking, and Snooki was great enough to share the data with me. And it was helpful because it helped us inform how we would launch ours. And we probably don't do things the same, but I then had all this data to look at, which I never thought I would look at a second time. And I was looking at something last week and saw all these fantastic names. Some of them have all these hidden meetings. Some of them are just funny sounding to begin with. And I thought, there's got to be some way to make this fun. I did the Iron PAX challenge, and that's a great fun thing to do. And it is humbling at the same time. I thought, how do we get people who maybe aren't ready to bite off throwing around a bunch of CMU blocks all morning and just come up with the recommendation because they think, hey, I got a great name, or I went to a great workout when I was downrange. How do we make this a contest? And, you know, March Madness was upon us. So I reached out to him and said, hey, what do you think? I don't have the reach Twitter wise or Slack wise to do this, but is this a dumb enough an idea to give it a try? And he said, yeah, this is a dumb enough idea. Let's think about how we can do this.
Yeah, I dig it. And I read through I think you sent me kind of a wrap up of all of that and so much more. And I'm intrigued by the rules of how this can potentially work. So either one of you guys, again, I'll just hand it over. Walk us through what this March Madness competition looks like between AOs.
Snooki, why don't you take a first
yeah, sure. So you know, the first thing we needed to decide was how we were going to deliver this. And in the, you know, certainly in the free to lead spirit, I had, you know, suggested we use the F3 Near Me account, which I had started really for, I guess, another dumb idea that I had in the summer, because from my standpoint, I was looking as a transplanted New Jerseyan who has found this amazing culture in F3 in the Carolinas. I wanted to do nothing more but try to EH my friends who are still back in the New Jersey and metro area. I call it remotional headlocking, remote headlocking, remote emotional headlocking.
I see what you did there.
It reads better than it speaks.
Better than Tobias.
But there was no way, like I could refresh the maps every day, right? But that's not going to certainly be productive. So I was looking for a way of kind of like Sunshine, you know, getting a hold of the data and saying, okay, can I have it spit out like new AOs every day? And I was able to get that to work, so I could see, you know, oh, this just popped up in, you know, Nevada, or this just popped up in northern New Jersey. So I figured, well, why not just take, you know, add a spin to that and do some content generation and put it on a channel, and you got nothing but support from the nation. So I've been doing that for the past 6 months. And, you know, F3 Nation will retweet this, and we'll do the same for other F3 Nation posts. And, the Twitterverse for F3 is kind of a fun place to be. Honestly, it's really the only thing I do on Twitter these days, because you could certainly go down other rabbit holes. But anyway, that was the channel we decided to do it on. And, maybe boiling down 2,000 unique names into 64 was a little daunting. So we said, let's make it something that's a little bit more digestible, and, have open to nominations, have it get a little organic growth. As we start the idea. So the idea is from now until Sunday night. So we're going to let the first round and the second round play out, that you can nominate your favorite location name. And again, we're in the public, we're using workout location just because AO is a little bit inside baseball. So we will boil down probably around, I don't think Sunshine and I are thinking around 100 names, or maybe 50 to 100 names, somehow into a top 16. And then we're going to use Twitter polls. Once we have those 16 top AO names, we're going to seed them. The selection committee, which is again the two tags you're looking at,
very top secret.
The selection committee is going to work very hard to seed them 1 through 16 in a very complex algorithm. Maybe ChatGPT will be involved. And then we're going to just use Twitter polls to play it out, right? So at that point, it'll be 8 Twitter polls for the Sweet 16, and then 4 for the Elite 8, and then et cetera, until we get to April 3rd. And we'll have the championship, which will be announced to align with the real March Madness.
So question, is there going to be context behind the name? So if a guy has we've mentioned how many The Rocks must exist, and Sunshine, we have an Alcatraz 5 minutes from my house.
There's two Alcatrazes.
I know, and we are in South Carolina, so it doesn't quite add up. So how does it work? Would a guy say, hey, listen, for instance, we have an AO called Iron Academy, because it's a kettlebell workout that meets at Academy Sports. So it makes sense. But if it's just the name Iron Academy, you're like, dismissive. But if there's a little bit of substance behind it, kind of brings it to fruition. So how does that work? Would a guy say, I nominate AO this workout location, and here's why? Or do they just say, it's a badass name, we're calling it this, moving on?
Yes.
Excellent.
I think, I've been to a bunch of workouts when I lived in Raleigh, and I've been to 3 when I live in San Francisco, and I've hit up a couple on the peninsula in Carmel. So there's no way, that's 2,500, and there's backstories on probably 100, if not thousands of them. I won't know them, but I still think that name is awesome. I looked through this list and I found one called Myrtle Combat in Cape Fear.
Oh, so good.
That's almost 3,000 miles away from me. Am I ever going to be at Myrtle Combat? No, but I love that name. That name is awesome. So of course I'm going to put that to the nominating committee. And the nominating committee looks at that one very favorably. But if there's one that has a name, we have a workout here in town that meets at Dolores Park. Any male 40 years and older who watched Seinfeld will recognize that Jerry had a girlfriend. He couldn't remember her name, but it rhymed with something. And so it's called Mulva. That's our workout.
That's so good.
So I imagine someone else, yours truly, will probably put that to the nominating committee, and the nominating committee will look favorably upon that as well. So some are obvious, and then some, like you, they have a hidden meaning. Put it on Twitter why it's called that, and of course we're going to look at that.
Yeah,
the nominating committee is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I had just started getting like new AO updates, and I think sometime last fall, I saw a new one come in. It was F3 Denver had Red Rocks at Red Rocks Amphitheater, and I'm like, being a huge concert fan. I mean, U2's famous video. There's, Sunday Bloody Sunday is from Red Rocks Amphitheater. I mean, I saw that, and I was like, the pun of all puns. As you said, Italian Java. Puns, references, whatever they are, clever use of words, Seinfeld references. whatever it is, add that color, because the more you can tell about your name, that tells a story. Once again, the selection committee can be persuaded.
Tommy Boy,
I have a feeling that this is a highly persuasive selection committee.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like start anything, but I have a sense that one of our winners will be in Cape Fear and another winner will possibly be in the Golden State area.
Nominating is one thing, voting is another.
Yeah.
And
we will recuse.
There may be some ballot stuffing. I don't know what will or won't happen. But yeah.
Tommy Boy, do you have a favorite AO location, workout, or anything that you can share with the 7 listeners? Listen close, kids.
I'm going through my list. I mean, one of my favorites is just another one that's great because of the location. We meet next to a K&W cafeteria, and so we call it Hobble and Gobble because it's just and it's a ruck sandbag workout, and it's my favorite one to go to. And you get to smell bacon the whole time, right? So you really can't complain much about that.
Tommy Boy, we have a workout where we specifically say 45 minutes till bacon, because we're in a parking lot where you can smell the bacon. Do you smell what the rock is cooking? It's in the rock region. The bacon is there. It works out. So 45 minutes till bacon.
Yeah, I like it. I approve of that. That has to show up too. I mean, I'm thinking there's got to be we have to have some sort of a t-shirt competition, a ceremonial net cutting. Maybe we cut like ruck straps or something and just send them off to Scars to be fixed. This is going to be a blast. So here's what we'll do. We'll definitely link up with F3 Near Me on Twitter and make sure that that's out there. Guys, as they said, you've got till Sunday evening, correct, to start getting your list together, putting them out.
March 19th. March 19th.
Gotcha. Perfect. March 19th. I'm setting my phasers to stun. What other pro tips? What can the nation do as far as submission, as far as linking up? Obviously, they need to follow that handle. Mm-hmm. Are there any training grounds in Slack, or is Slack going to be just where the trash is talked?
Yeah, no, on Nation Mumble Chatter, Sunshine did post yesterday, and he's also actually going to post a list of all the current AO names. So again, smaller regions, maybe your universe is small, right? You get to see some of the larger regions and see what their names are. So that's happening on Mumble Chatter on Nation Slack. And, we're going to keep piggybacking off of some of the games that are going on this weekend, right? Somebody from California plays somebody in Louisiana. I'll look up those regions and see, where fan lines run, right, and try to mention those regions. So we'll be poking the bear on Twitter throughout the whole weekend. But yeah, send those nominations through. Add whatever color or images. We are going to get into logos, because some of these logos paint the picture of the AO name. Done by Snickers and other guys in the nation with those artistic talents. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun as we get to the next 2 weeks.
I see a 12-5. I see a 12-5 upset coming with Nina Pinta Santa Maria out of Columbus Park.
I love that one. I still laugh at that one from S3 Wi-Fi every time I see it. Three AOs at Columbus Park.
Yep.
The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
One thing that I did with the data, and this is, I will make it available and share it. I sent it to you all before we started talking, and then Snooki has seen it as well. I took all the data and I digested it into 3 pivot tables for all the data nerds. But you don't need to be a data nerd. I really just thought, how do I look at 2,500 names and make anything of this? I don't want to look at the map and click. So I'll share this as a Google Doc, and I have them broken up by regions. I have them broken up by frequency, which is just how frequently a name is mentioned, and then just the workout type. So you're like, I think there's probably some good ruck workouts. What's the best ruck workout? Because I want to recommend that because I really like rucking or whatever. I couldn't think of any other ways to segment the data. But you can just click through the tabs, and I hopefully have locked it enough that it doesn't get messed up along the way. But if it does, that's okay. So then at least you can scroll through and start to see names either alphabetically or however you want. And maybe you make it through 200 names. That's what happened to me. And then I needed an app.
I dig it. Well, I think at this point, all we need to do is get out of the way and let the pack start having fun with it. Any final thoughts from you guys before we say farewell?
I don't think so.
Right.
I think, again, just submit to F3 near me on Twitter. There's a hashtag as well. And again, just calling it F3 March Madness allows us to do something different next year, right? Whether it's, favorite workout from the Vexicon or some of the other amazing things that packs are pulling together, right? You could even, it really, sky's the limit. And that to me is my huge takeaway is that many of us who have gotten involved in F3 have been freed by the lack of control. And, if you yield control to your little island, it's amazing what can come out of it, right? Just kind of getting this map, the workout data out there is I think Sunshine and I are kind of separated at birth, it seems, because we just, we love kind of looking to see what other AOs are doing, what other regions are doing, having some fun with the data. There are no dumb ideas. The only dumb ideas are the ones that aren't put out there for others to take a look at and see if anybody can run with it. So, just encourage packs to put your ideas out there. And run with them. If you believe in it, run with it.
I can't add much more to that than agreeing. What I've realized in looking at, these are just names, and certainly I've seen some very creative workouts and I see very creative F3 nicknames, and just seeing these names, it just reminds me what a incredibly creative and fun, irreverent group we have. Many will never meet, but that doesn't matter. We're still part of a community. And I may think a workout name is fantastic, and then I can look at another one and say, that hats off. Like that's an amazing name, and those people are really creative, and I want to meet those people. And so that's just kind of what it opened up to me. It kind of reminded me that there's really some very, very neat ideas out there. Thank you for giving us a voice to chat about it. This is always fun. I love meeting people that I'll, seen their names, seen them post things, and it's always a treat to get these opportunities.
It's good stuff. Maybe next year we do the best nickname, and I may throw one in the hat in advance. I named an FNG yesterday, Fitz, for Freak in the Spreadsheets, because he's really good at Excel. So Fitz, Freak in the Sheets. The acronym Fits. So it's just fun times. And the best part about F3 and this morning at the workout, the Q said this. He said we don't really mature past the 8th grade, but in society we have to act like grown-ups and adults. And when you're at F3, there's fart jokes and there's jokes that are passed back and forth, and we just have a good time. And I think the fitness part is awesome because it makes you feel good for the day. But also, when you have that outlet at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, just cutting up with the boys, just having a good time with the locker room humor sometimes, it puts you in the right mindset for the day. This is just fun. Hanging out, as my kids call it, hanging out with my F3 buddies. It's just fun. These types of brackets, they're just fun. I saw one last year. It was the vending machine challenge where they had like the Reese's cup against the Smarties. And, you can see the advancement on that. That was one of the most fun, reading through that every day. I want to tap into, but okay, who advanced? Oh, Whoppers. Of course they suck. Of course they lost the first round. But the vending machine bracket challenge, just stuff like that gets guys involved. So I encourage the guys listening, pay attention, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. You get to vote once. And if you have multiple Twitter handles, I guess you can vote multiple times. But let's get it going. Let's get this thing. Let's have the fun continue past the gloom and into the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Fellas, thanks for sharing. I'm glad you connected. Glad you made this a reality. March just got a little more interesting. As anyone who is listening, if you haven't already, hop on Twitter, get your engines running, get ready, get those thumbs limber, right? And then let her rip. And if you haven't already, go over to Jackson, Mississippi's Twitter handle, F3 Jackson, Mississippi, and check out their Namerama from this morning if you need a good pick-me-up as you're listening to this podcast. Other than that, fellas, it comes down to this: be good or be good at it. We'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.